Wow, what a ride this was. These four Paris shows here, ending on the 87 show of the Eras Tour, which was then the number 87, Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, Travis was in attendance. At first you were like, well, why didn't you go to the first three or something like that? But of course, it's like the effect of like, saving some of the outfits just for that night, and then debuting the yellow and gold, and arguably a few more subtle yellow and gold references there, as well as the nods and the winks and the waves. I mean, these are two people that are quite smitten for one another, and it's a beautiful thing to see. And it's really, I mean, there's the beauty of it, and then there's the tragedy too, because there's, I mean, what is it, 7 songs technically? I mean, of the Maddie of it all, right? Arguably, maybe two or three of those are not, but we're on the aftermath of the 31, right? And it's, I'd love to have your thoughts in the comments of, or maybe how some media source that I've not yet seen of how Travis feels about it. That whole album. Clearly, he probably had a sense that there was a significant breakup, and that Maddie was involved and what have you. But to what degree, you really wonder. I mean, we know that he knows that so high school, maybe alchemy is is a nod in his direction, and indeed there was a wave in his direction. That with that, and so and that's one of the moments he did whip out the phone. Did also whip out the phone during the wardrobe change, the Vaudellian moment, where she sort of dies on stage. It also is making light of the depressing nature, I think, of it, but also letting her younger fans maybe know that this is an act, and they're finding some humor in the tragedy, as well as the beauty and the emotions. There's the whole wide range of emotions, this whole spectrum there, from the revenge to the yeah, there's just every aspect of the relationship kind of through the 31 and through the Eras Tour set list, I think. But as he whips out his phone and the flash is on, which you may not understand that move if you, I don't know, haven't done anything like that. It's kind of like, it's a flex. You want everybody to know, to look at the flash and to see that you're doing it. And it's to register that it's his and for him, and that he gets to, hang out with her after the show, and that he's a part of that. Like, I don't know. But this was the fourth night, had new dance moves. There were elements of improvisation and the choreography that appeared to be, for an audience of one, the tweet of the night was definitely the I forget who sent it out, Veronica or something, that was like, oh, sorry, Taylor, I kind of feel like I'm third wheeling here tonight. This was, I'm glad that these Parisians and the TikTok crowd got to partake in the ride along for this date to sort of, and what, I mean, if Taylor's your girlfriend, of course, she's to have an amphitheater full of your closest friends, friends to witness, I mean, the joy and the enthusiasm that for him and for that relationship, and that everything would seem that her person has come for her, and it's a long waiting, and I still think that there's still the Carly and the Gaylor of it all. I think part of the Swifties hang up, and I think a part of why they're not the entire fan base. I think that's wrong. I think it is really the Hannahs and the Sarahs, those who are waiting for debut part two. Those who feel like Taylor turned her back on the country crowd, y'all. I mean, that's who I think she's giving the middle finger to. If you've seen that clip before, "Long Live Is Gone," ouch, and but Daddy, I Love Him. It has replaced it, and it's not to the entire fan base, but it's for those who feel like she's a property, not a person, and not necessarily tree. I think who gets it, but who is speaking for a larger percentage of the very fact that she couldn't do coming out in 2019, and that me got reduced to she had to pretend to be communally narcissistic, like some kind of congressman in that Vogue interview, to walk it back and wear black because the color of the lover rainbow and really the blue and pinkish purple was kind of fading out to the gray and black because of the Carly of it all. Which, I mean, the fact that they're willing to create a Easter egg scheme by which they massively manipulate the Google search results so that Carly showing up on the Speak Now release announcement that everybody knew was coming that night, and the tour's day, was then thoroughly buried because there was a whole legion of new Swiftie fans that were new to the party, new to Kaylor, and we're finding out just how SWF that really got. But I think, oh, she a bit hungry it seems, but it's in, I don't know, the whole thing is like the amount of power that they want to wield to show that it's not just that like they're rolling with the punches in terms of her image, but they have full control over it. And the outdated thing of like someone being out is that's not, we're talking about post gender theory and Judith Butler. I mean, it's you're in and of itself, like it's even yours to disclose with whom and to what degree that's even shared, not necessarily all with all or none, because half of them will backstab and betray you, and be negative with information. The other half are in this, the South can't handle it or whatever. But the other part of it is just it's someone's own choosing within each and every circumstance. It's not an all or nothing sort of thing. But even when it was, and she was trying to go that route, the way that sort of unraveled before her, I think is front of mind with a lot of this stuff. And so that secondly, it would be those who are who say that she can't be with Maddie. It's like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you have to be in this little niche and you have to fulfill the role. And even within that, with Travis being sort of the perfect boyfriend, and that was his SNL skit, the perfect bachelor, that was a 10 years ago reality TV show that Travis has, which I don't know if you've checked it out, but you may want to. He's definitely positioned himself, and it's just like he's that guy in terms of PR training, in terms of like just being so perfect. What's wild is he's able to harness that energy and still be authentically himself, and still embody all of the sort of like 1950s shit that they all want from her. I mean, the car doors and the protective and all of that. And I just think that she was able to channel her, inner girlhood and just say yes to that sort of feminine expression, even if that was not, if this is the consolation prize, so to speak, if she it's actually ironically doesn't get the championship ring, which would have been the golden person that shall not be named, and who knows what Maddie was in all of this. I mean, I think we're still reconciling that, but I'm working. It's a lot of work. I'm still finishing up the whole TTBD series where we get into Sylvia Plath and how much of these elements and some of the Gaylor elements all correspond with, sort of just going song by song here. But I will say that that's not lost here, and I think Cassandra holds some keys here for some of the Gaylor in the 2019 stuff. I mean, I've got a post on Pages of Brandon that kind of gets into that whole thing. I won't redo that here. Probably should do a video version, but it's been done, so it gets easily Googleable and found. Like you'll hear me say in every video that there's people don't want truth. People want constant reassurance. They want to be constantly reassured of the reality that they've chosen, and that they've chosen for Taylor. And so that song is sort of, that's who she gives the middle finger to. Those Hannah and Sarah's, I'm sure there's a few particular Hannah and Sarah tweets, I think, that she may have just, added to her secret Tumblr or something, or just that live rent free in her head, that are determining, what she can do with her name, and how she's hurting her brand, and how she really should, think twice before just making such a career-altering move with him or whatever. And then like the way that it's such performative outrage in terms of just like, even not understanding, that he is not homophobic, not understanding that like he's way progressive on a lot of issues, and that it's part of this whole thing with like, Russia kind of influencing a lot of like British culture and politics, and sort of the shock element that we went through in the 90s. That's sort of this like, cyclical, and there's an element here of just as much accusation in terms of like who she is related to white girlhood, that she'd have to answer for in similar ways than other people have written those essays. Not me, but I would say that it's a little bit selective. But at the end of the day, if she wants to burn the whole Lover House down, burn her image down, it's hers to do. So, and it's interesting that that's not into the relationship. That could have been a factor, but the elements that just sort of like, caused him to ghost her, and the fact that it was the when it was fun and secretive and exciting, which secretive is interesting. There was some blind items, I don't know if you saw them, that suggest something about why he may have thought it was fun and secretive, that, or maybe not, is, who knows? This is wildly speculative, and blind items are just, I don't know what's going on there. But wow. It's, he's the Peter Pan who never grew up. He's that, that child you promised her, the white picket, whatever, allegedly. She's wanted to settle down and to, the girl with the dreams and she's, the age is a factor, I think. If she was certain things, there's part of her that maybe does want that 1950s stuff, but with the right person, and the fantasy, that the limerence and emotional regulation that someone that is sort of, I think of her deep emotions and passion and artistry, could, emotionally regulate, be a limerent, I think would be not too beyond the pale. And I think that Maddie served that role for her, but also when a dream dies, what's the raisin in the sun thing, it's just, that fuels part of my gratitude and happiness and my desire for this Travis thing to be long-lasting and substantive, and the sort of anchor point for her, and for decades to come, because he really is a good-hearted person, and it's I don't know. There's an element too where maybe Maddie's racially questionable, but like Travis has been invited to the barbecue, for the longest. If you look at some of Tyreek's recent statements there, but I just feel like I've manifested this whole thing as a massive Kelsey fan, Chiefs fan. As Brady said in the recent Kim roast, that the awful team for 50 years, and then Travis comes and we're a dynasty, back-to-back championships, and will be a threat to contend with into the future. And Travis is kind of towards the end of his career, which from like a CTE like hits to the head perspective, I think we're ready for him just to let him just be a muse. Why does it have to be a woman that's the muse? I want the love songs of that are all just that deep passionate thing of and he's got charities. He's about to open a steakhouse here in Kansas City with Mahomes. It's a really cool thing, and it's the fact that I get Lana and Taylor were in our stadium, and Lana maybe on the 49er side, it's forgivable, but still, it's what is life that this is even, it's a simulation. Like, whoever I focus on next is going to be, I don't know, it seems like, I'm just kidding though. But I really can't wait to dig into more of this stuff with these lyrics and finish this up and have the video up for you soon. But some of my favorite videos that I was able to upload, I thank you guys for just watching them and commenting and sharing, and got a lot of you subscribe to this channel. If you check out this video and some of the Maddie stuff, and I'm doing a lot of different just like creative like mashups, and Taylor singing with other rock, try creating more avenues for the maybe the Travis type rock guys to get into Taylor, because they need good lyrics, they need depth, and I don't where are you really getting that right nowadays? It's not like the 70s and stuff like that. I don't know. We're all digging into like Rush and Joni Mitchell and stuff like that. But I want some more Lana stuff as well. But definitely welcome to the channel. If you haven't already subscribed, I would appreciate that. But I'll see y'all in the comments, and more to come here soon.